Starting as a tiny coffee shop in Seattle that didn't even offer brewed coffee, Starbucks has come a long way in 50 years, but it's only been recently that the Starbucks menu has evolved to include game-changing products. Find out what Starbucks menu looked like the year you were born. If you're looking for Starbucks menu when you were born and you were born before 1982, you're out of luck. When Starbucks first opened in Seattle in 1971, the store was a far cry from the Starbucks experience you get today. While the store sold coffee beans, teas, and spices, along with a selection of coffee makers and grinders, they only brewed coffee as samples. Still, it was a formula that worked for the brand, eventually. During the first 9 months, the store only grossed approximately $47,000, but Starbucks went on to open multiple locations regardless and began roasting its own beans. The dedication to the brand paid off. Even then, Starbucks didn't offer any sort of menu. The business was focused on roasting and selling its own beans and the various coffee paraphernalia the average bean aficionado might want at home. In 1982, something monumental happened for the Starbucks brand. Their 5th store in Seattle featured something unprecedented, a coffee bar. The menu was limited and sold only plain brewed coffee, but it was something. If you still enjoy a fresh, hot cup of Starbucks coffee black, ordered at the counter amidst a range of other sugar and dairy-laden requests, you know the pure joy that comes from such a simple thing. It was the first step Starbucks would make toward what it's become today, but there was still one missing piece of the puzzle: Howard Schultz. Schultz became the director of marketing in 1983.
Their aspiration at the time was to expand to Portland, Oregon. I somewhat persuaded them that perhaps Starbucks' opportunity was bigger.
And when Starbucks sent Schultz to Italy, he came back full of ideas for the brand, proclaiming that espresso-based drinks and Italy's long-standing cafe culture were the way of the future. The 6th Starbucks store opened in Seattle, and it included the very first Starbucks espresso bar, where again the menu was limited compared to what the Starbucks menu is today. But it also included one key item that you can still order: the cafe latte. Incredibly simple, the Starbucks cafe latte is a hot, basic coffee drink with dark, rich espresso, steamed milk, and a layer of foam. A tall 12-ounce cafe latte includes 1 shot of espresso and is made with 2% milk, though today you have a whole swath of other milk alternatives to choose from. Possibly feeling a little emboldened by his successful changes at Starbucks, Schultz left the company to found his own coffee shop company.
Over a period of 2 years, I left Starbucks to start my own chain of Italian coffee bars.
In 1986, barista Dave Olson threw together a few ingredients to create Starbucks' very first handcrafted holiday beverage, the eggnog latte. Up until the addition of the eggnog latte to the Starbucks menu, the only holiday-esque offering that the brand had was its Christmas blend coffee, which was only sold as beans and grounds for use at home. The eggnog latte is made with steamed eggnog, espresso, and a dusting of nutmeg, and it has gained an international following. The eggnog latte was the first of a long line of seasonal holiday menu items for the brand, which continues to expand and evolve. In 1987, Starbucks' future began to look a little grim again, with cash flow not where it needed to be. The founders decided to sell and focus on their other ventures, including Red Hook Brewery and Peet's Coffee, and Howard Schultz came calling. He purchased Starbucks with the help of investors for $3.8 million and rebranded it Il Giornale under the Starbucks name. Schultz incorporated some of Il Giornale's distinctive touches into the Starbucks menu. Most significantly, he swapped out Starbucks' small, medium, and large sizes for the tall, grande, and venti sizes that you still see today.
But the real business and the opportunity was the integration of the beverage to creating a destination and a sense of community in the store.
Schultz quickly grew the Starbucks brand with rapid expansion in the years following the acquisition, until he had 53 locations in 1992, when the Starbucks brand went public at $17 per share. By 1993, there were nearly 300 locations across the US and Canada. Starbucks management began to notice a trend on the coffee beverage scene: blended coffee beverages. While corporate was conducting R&D, Starbucks meanwhile purchased a Boston brand called the Coffee Connection, along with a Coffee Connection product called the Frappuccino, which the brand made using a soft-serve ice cream machine. Starbucks rolled out the Frappuccino across all US and Canadian locations in the summer of 1995. At first, the only Frappuccino flavors available were coffee and mocha, and the drink looked a bit different from what it is today. There was no whipped cream, for one, but it was met with instant success. The Starbucks Frappuccino craze continued throughout the late 1990s and early 2000s. In 1999, Starbucks created the iconic green straw and domed lid for the Frappuccino, making it easier for patrons to enjoy their sugary coffee drinks complete with whipped cream. The new cup design debuted at the same time that Starbucks introduced the Caramel Frappuccino. To this day, the Caramel Frappuccino is one of Starbucks' best-selling Frappuccino flavors. The beverage is made with coffee, milk, and ice. These ingredients are blended and then topped with whipped cream and caramel sauce. Today, you can order the Caramel Frappuccino affogato style, which simply means that the barista adds a hot espresso shot to the top of the drink. A big year for Starbucks, in 2002, the brand continued to expand its flavored drink menu. The very first blended beverages without coffee or tea as an ingredient appeared in the summer of 2002 with the introduction of yet another Frappuccino option. The Frappuccino Creme premiered with 4 flavors: vanilla bean, strawberries and cream, double chocolate chip, and chai creme. According to a prior Starbucks barista, the creme line of Frappuccinos is by default made with milk, a creme base, ice, and flavoring. The new menu items didn't end in summer 2002. For the Christmas season, Starbucks introduced its new peppermint mocha. The beverage quickly became the most popular holiday drink in Starbucks history. Starbucks debuted a menu item in 2003 that would change the face of food culture: the pumpkin spice latte.
It's a pumpkin-y swirl onto a beautiful, beautiful beverage. I love it. I love this time of year. I love pumpkin spice latte.
After the drink was initially tested in 100 stores in Vancouver and Washington, D.C., sales records were exceeded, and so the pumpkin spice latte went nationwide the next year. CNBC estimates that as of 2019, Starbucks has sold 424 million pumpkin spice lattes. That wasn't the only monumental menu change in 2003. Starbucks also began testing hot foods with its breakfast sandwiches, which are still around today. The first available hot sandwich was a toasty egg and cheese. It was followed in 2006 by a bacon and ham sandwich and English muffin sandwiches. By 2004, the Frappuccino in all its calorific glory had been a success for more than a decade. And in 2008, Starbucks introduced its skinny drinks. By ordering drinks skinny, customers essentially asked baristas to use sugar-free flavored syrups in their drinks of choice rather than the full sugar variants. The launch of skinny options also included the introduction of a new syrup flavor, sugar-free mocha. A tall, skinny cafe mocha or cafe latte came out to only 90 calories.
Can I get a grande drip and a decaf triple grande non-fat extra hot stirred no foam caramel macchiato with whipped cream, extra caramel?
In 2009, Starbucks introduced a new seasonal drink, the Caramel Brulee Latte, which became an instant hit and fan favorite. Buttery, creamy, super sweet, and decadent, the latte is made with a shot of espresso, steamed milk, and caramel brulee sauce, then topped with whipped cream and some caramel brulee bits. Since Starbucks realized it had another hit on its hands, the brand sold a caramel brulee latte kit, which included Starbucks Christmas Blend espresso roast coffee and a caramel brulee sauce. 2010 introduced the world to the first however you want it Frappuccino. The menu edition allows customers to choose their own milk option, like soy, their own type of coffee, whatever syrup they want, and an array of toppings. Starbucks announced that this menu change allowed for thousands of new Frappuccinos to be made, ordered however customers liked. A more dramatic change came to the menu in 2010. Beer and wine were added to select locations' menus. According to an LA Times article, a Starbucks spokesperson said that the menu change was adopted for customers who, quote, want to relax in the evening. Is bigger really better? In 2011, Starbucks certainly thought so, as it unleashed its Trenta option into the world. The largest of Starbucks available drink sizes, a Trenta drink gives customers 31 ounces of their favorite beverage. Unfortunately, when the new size was added to the menu, you couldn't order 31 ounces of your favorite hot coffee to go. Instead, the size was available for iced coffee, iced tea, and iced tea lemonade only. Previously, Starbucks' largest size was the venti at 20 ounces. Despite the additional 10 ounces of beverage, Starbucks only increased the price of its drinks from venti to Trenta by about 50 cents, at least upon release. In 2014, Starbucks made 2 notable changes to its menu. Around the holidays, it introduced yet another new holiday drink, the chestnut praline latte. Many patrons have acknowledged that the latte was a nice change from the other considerably sweeter holiday drink options. It's made with espresso, steamed milk, foam, whipped cream, and spiced praline crumbs. Cold foam also became available for cold beverages in 2014. A Food Business News article noted, the frothy topping falls in line with the trend of cold beverages, which now make up more than half of U.S. Starbucks beverage sales. In 2015, coconut milk became an option for non-dairy drinkers for an extra 60 cents per drink. Starbucks went with its own branded coconut milk, Starbucks Single Origin Sumatra Coconut Milk, which is vegan and made from single origin coconuts from, you guessed it, Sumatra. A USA Today article announcing the change said that non-soy, non-dairy alternatives were the second most requested customer ideas submitted to Starbucks at the time. Starbucks also began selling hot brewed teas in-store in 2015. The new Teavana hot teas included 10 varieties such as Jade Citrus Mint, Emperor's Clouds and Mist, Oprah Chai, Youthberry, and English Breakfast. Prepared with just hot water and tea sachets, there's still nothing necessarily exciting or groundbreaking about Starbucks tea selections. But the menu addition makes sense for the clientele, and the tea options have continued to increase and evolve over the years. However, one of the biggest menu additions was that of cold brew. Steeped using cold water, Starbucks explained the difference between its iced coffee, which has a stronger, roastier flavor, and its new cold brew, which it described as smooth and rich and refreshing, with hints of chocolate and citrus. Cold brew first launched in nearly 3,000 locations across the US and Canada. Starbucks cold brew was quickly followed by nitro coffee, or cold brew coffee infused with nitrogen gas, before the end of 2016. Mackenzie Carr, a coffee education specialist with Starbucks, told CNBC, "Nitro coffee has been under development at Starbucks for about a year, and cold brew was a natural choice given the blend of beans and quality of roast."
So the end result is this soft citrus flavor with these deep syrupy sweet notes that happens naturally in the cold brew recipe.
At the same time that Starbucks launched Nitro Coffee, it also unveiled a new cold brew coffee drink, the Vanilla Sweet Cream Cold Brew, served on ice and topped with a cream concoction made from milk, cream, and vanilla syrup. If there's one thing you can rely on Starbucks to do, it's to roll out new holiday and seasonal drink options every few years. In 2017, Starbucks introduced its Toasted White Chocolate Mocha, and in 2019, it unleashed its Irish Cream Cold Brew. The former combines the flavors of toasted white chocolate, espresso, whipped cream, and candied cranberry sugar, and the drink received rave reviews upon its release. The latter, meanwhile, combines cold brew coffee with Irish cream syrup, ice, vanilla sweet cream cold foam, and cocoa powder. Additionally, 2019 also introduced Starbucks patrons to the new Pumpkin Cream Cold Brew, which was the first new pumpkin beverage to land on the menu since the Pumpkin Spice Latte launched in 2003. Made with cold brew and vanilla, the Pumpkin Cream Cold Brew is topped with a pumpkin cream cold foam and pumpkin spice topping. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more mashed videos about your favorite stuff are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.